Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. So if it is the first time for you to find our channel, please just subscribe and hit the like button. So I'm going to share with you this story that was shared with me on Facebook. So it read like this. Hello, I've been following your profile here on Facebook for quite a long time now, and I've been trying to read some of the stories that you post on your wall. Some of them I truly don't understand them because of the language in which they are written in. Well, here is my own personal account of what happened to me when I was in the hospital. I have told so many people this story, but no one believes me. There was this other woman whom I shared a hospital ward with. Then this woman, after she died, she came back and took her first towel after a day of her death. So I shared a hospital ward with this lady who was sick. I was sick also, but I could see that my sickness was much better than the lady who was next to my bed. Sometimes she will struggle to breathe, and then they will put on an oxygen mask to help her to breathe. But when she breathed, she let out this wheezing sound. The sound was so terrible and terrifying that I could just pray, please, can she just stop breathing like that? The next day, it was in the morning, it was around 3 a.m. or so. I saw doctors and nurses rushing to her bed. Then she seemed to be okay. Then an emergency alarm woke me up. It was a couple of hours after the doctor and the nurse had rushed in to attend on her. When the alarm got on, she just found the strength to rise from her bed. Then slowly she walked towards my bed. I asked her, where are you going? And she said, can you smell what I am smelling? I was like, no, I can't smell anything. And she said that I smell something which is like rotten eggs. Can you smell the sulfur in the air? And I said, no, I don't smell anything. Then she grabbed the footboard of the bed that I was sleeping on. Then she shook me so violently. I was like, can you just stop what you are doing? You are making me uncomfortable. But she kept on shaking the bed. And then she spoke with me in a very raspy voice. She was like, death smells like sulfur. Then she just walked back to her bed and she slept on her bed and she put on her oxygen mask and she breathed again. Then she let out that wheezy breathing sound and she was looking at me until she died. The hospital staff then came to prepare her body for the mortuary. So when they arrived, they drew the curtains around her bed for privacy when they were preparing the body. But these curtains, it was as if they wanted me to look at this woman until they carry her body to the mortuary. Because what will happen is that when the staff members would close the curtains, then the curtains will open themselves until the staff just prepared her body without any curtains drawn around her bed. When all of this was happening, I felt this numbness in my toes. Then all of a sudden, it was as if someone or something was holding me down against my bed. I couldn't move my eyes, I couldn't move my head, I couldn't move any part of my body. I kept on looking at this woman and she was looking back at me, but I could see that this woman was already dead. It was so terrible for me because I couldn't even blink my eyes. My eyes were hurting and they felt so dry because I couldn't blink for almost 5 minutes. I tried to shout out to the hospital staff that was attending this dead woman to help me. I don't know if the hospital staff chose to ignore me or they couldn't hear me. I truly don't understand. But for a moment, they looked at me and I was like, at least I'm going to tell someone what I am experiencing. But then they just looked away. It was as if a rock had smashed against my heart because they just kept on working on that woman's dead dead body, and it was like as if I had ceased to exist. Then after a day, I saw the same lady entering the ward, and then she walked straight to the bed that she was with on the day that she died. I pinched myself because I thought maybe it was a dream, but the pain that I felt when I pinched myself, I noticed that this was not a dream, but it was a reality. She took something. Then she smiled at me and said, "Oh, I just forgot my towel." Then she left. I called out to the nurse who was on duty. When she came, she found me shivering. The whole of my body was shaking so violently. She tried to heat up the room, but it did not help. I kept on shivering. When I came out of hospital, I then found out that after I told the nurse what I had seen since the day that woman had passed away, then they put me on antipsychotic medication. Up until today, I'm still on that medication simply because that nurse thought that I was someone who was going crazy, because I had told her that that woman who was sleeping on that bed yesterday, I saw her today. Then she said, "It's fine, to make you feel better, I am going to the mortuary." And when she came back, she told me that the corpse of that lady is in the mortuary. And the more that I insisted on what I had seen, she went, then she called the doctor to speak with me. When I spoke with the doctor, he said yes, he does understand what I am trying to say, but he told me that it is scientifically impossible for someone who was on life support to wake up out of nowhere. He went on and on telling me that because of the medication that they were giving me, it was possible that these were just hallucinations of things that never happened. From there on, they took a urine sample and also a blood sample on me. From there on, I then realized later on that they had put me on antipsychotic medication. I also think that the doctor spoke with my husband, because after I fully recovered and got discharged from the hospital, my husband each and every day makes sure that I take my medication, and I am afraid to tell him that the more that I am taking this medication, the more I keep having visions, and most of the times in these visions I see dead people. So guys, that was a story that I received on Facebook Messenger. Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Let's meet again in the following episode.